Look at me. What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you... Look at me. What about me would make you...
That's right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Soon said he kicked back.
Wait, time out.
He is often called the Great Architect of the Universe, Ptah, the ancient Grand Architect of the Universe, by past Master McHenry. Ptah is an ancient Egyptian deity, a creator god and patron deity of craftsmen and architects. He is also associated with Freemasonry, as a conception of God that represents the deity neutrally in whatever form and name each member may individually believe in. He is often called the Great Architect of the Universe, as he shaped the gods, the cities, the provinces of Egypt, and all things of beauty from his thoughts. He was the chief deity of the city of Memphis, and with his wife Sekhmet and son Nefertum, formed the triad of Memphis gods. He was also identified with or fused with other gods, such as Osiris, Seker, and Tenon. He was thought to have existed at the beginning of time within Nun, the primeval watery chaos, and created the world from that chaos either by kneading mud or through speech. Some additional details about Ptah are: he was often portrayed as a bearded, bald male figure who wore a tight cap and an elaborately decorated neck collar. His body was wrapped in a tight garment that left only his hands free. The manat, the symbol of pleasure and happiness, hung down the back of his neck. He sat or stood on a pedestal symbolic of Maat, who represented truth and justice, and held in his hands the ankh, a symbol of life, and the scepter, a symbol of power. Sometimes he was shown at his potter's wheel. The hieroglyphs that represented his name included the meanings to open, to engrave, to carve, and to chisel. The name Ptah itself may have meant sculptor or engraver. According to one text, Ptah was the father of Atum, who later became the sun god Re. The Egyptians believed that Re would originate thoughts. Then the god of intelligence, Thoth, would give words to Re's thoughts. But it was Ptah who gave these thoughts form. Ptah was assisted by Maat, goddess of truth and justice, and by the god Khnemu, who shaped humans on his own potter's wheel. Ptah was a creative force even in death, for he would shape new bodies for the souls of the deceased to inhabit in the Jewat, underworld. Ptah was identified in some way with the Apis bull, which was also worshipped in Memphis. This bull was thought to be the incarnation of Ptah during its life, but when it died, it assumed the identity of the god Osiris and was called Serapis. Ptah was also thought to have absorbed the qualities of a pre-dynastic god named Tenon, and this combined form was usually depicted as a human male with a crown of ostrich feathers, holding a scimitar. Occasionally Ptah was shown with the 7 wise ones, beings who came from Re's tears and took the form of hawks. The 7 wise ones, along with Thoth in his role as scribe, ruled over letters and learning. In these scenarios, Ptah was the force carrying out the dictates of these deities, giving form to their designs.
These deep dives into the craft, its hidden history, its symbols, and its mysteries, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications. Your support helps this channel grow and allows us to strengthen our Masonic community together, in harmony and in light. Thank you, my friends. Now, let's begin. Ptah, the Great Architect. Ptah stands as one of the oldest and most sophisticated expressions of a divine architect in human history. Across Egyptology, comparative religion, and Masonic scholarship, a consistent picture emerges. Ptah is not merely a craftsman god, but the mind, word, and blueprint behind all creation. Many writers, academic and esoteric, explicitly or implicitly connect Ptah with the great architect archetype that later becomes central in Freemasonry. Egyptologist James P. Allen emphasizes that the Memphite theology describes Ptah creating the universe through thought and speech. Creation happens first in the heart, then through the tongue. This fusion of mind, word, and design mirrors the later philosophical ideal of a cosmic architect. E. A. Wallace. Budge strengthens this picture by calling Ptah the divine artificer, a master builder who shapes gods, men, and the world. Budge also highlights Ptah's connection to the ancient guilds of stonecutters and craftsmen, a detail that resonates deeply with later Masonic symbolism. Anthropologist James Fraser notes Ptah's place as a cosmic craftsman in early mythologies, describing him as the foundational template for many later architect-creator figures. R.T. Rundle Clark presents Ptah as the supreme artisan whose intellectual design underlies the entire universe. His work shows how the Egyptians developed one of the earliest known systems of creation by mental conception, a hallmark of the great architect model. Miriam Leach-Time's translations of the Shabaka stone reveal Ptah forming the gods themselves through his heart and speech. Her work is one of the main academic sources used by Masonic researchers who argue that Ptah represents the earliest articulation of the great architect concept. Jan Assmann expands this further, describing Ptah as the divine mind who plans the cosmos as an architect plans a structure. Assmann shows that the Memphite priests understood creation as a deliberate intellectual act, a blueprint brought into reality. George G.M. James goes even further, arguing that much of Greek philosophy, including the notion of a creative architect, has direct roots in Egyptian theology with Ptah at the center. His work helps shape modern esoteric interpretations that view Ptah as the original architect god of Western thought. Within Masonic and esoteric circles, Manly P. Hall explicitly compares Ptah to the great architect of the universe. He portrays Ptah as the primordial craftsman whose tools, symbols, and creative principles echo throughout Masonic ritual and philosophy. Albert Churchward also identifies Ptah as the prototype of the Masonic master builder, suggesting that many symbols and tools used in Masonry trace back to ancient Memphis. Albert Mackey, while more cautious, acknowledges Ptah as one of the clearest ancient parallels to the great architect ideal. Esoteric Egyptologist Schwaller de Lubitsch describes Ptah as the divine architect, whose mental blueprint governs cosmic structure and temple design. His work links ancient Egyptian architecture directly to metaphysical creation. Gerald Massey also places Ptah at the root of the world builder archetype, arguing that Memphis preserved the earliest great architect doctrine through its priesthood and artisans. Across all these writers, scholars, philosophers, and Masonic historians, the same conclusion appears. Ptah is not just a god of craftsmen. He is the archetypal creator, the one who conceives the universe as a mental design and brings it into being through the power of his word. His theology is the oldest fully developed expression of the great architect principle, predating and influencing later ideas found in Greek philosophy, Hebrew theology, early Christianity, and ultimately Freemasonry. This is why many modern Masonic researchers point to Ptah as the Masonic great architect of the universe. His attributes, intellectual creation, architectural design, mastery of tools, and the crafting of cosmic order, make him the earliest known representation of the divine builder, whose blueprint shapes all existence. If you find Masonic history...
In this video, we'll talk about Ptah, he who sits on the throne, and Set is the most emphasized aspect of the devil because he uses brute force and benefits from magic to get there. We'll connect Ptah to Amun and Hephaestus. He faced us, is another way to see his name, which is a Greek equivalent to Ptah, someone that was identified with Ptah by the Greeks. So first let's look at Logos, Logos.
And that they the ones you can see that, when, another deity that was side by side with Set was Ptah. You see, these were some of the earlier deities. When you talk about Ptah, you talk about Set, you talking about Bes. You see, those are the, those ancient deities that existed before, before the Amens, before the Herus and Osirises. You see, Ptah was one of the chief deities also, and he was also a Twa. And that they the ones.
When I joined in England,
This one was more during the Greco-Roman time, but it showed Ptah the Twa as a dwarf, as a Twa, as an Anu. Okay, so these were, and you can go all over the world. They took this science all over the world, good family. Okay, now I'm gonna show you. Because Ptah was also the god of the metals, the metal workers, the blacksmiths. This one was more during the Greco-Roman. The legendary Imhotep, the world's first multi-genius, a master of many arts and sciences, builder of the world's first stone structure, the step pyramid of Saqqara. This is where masonry begins. So for all the Freemasons out here that speak of Solomon, speak of Hiram of Biff, no, it is Imhotep, the first grand master of masonry, laying stones, also a physician. You see, the Greeks compared Imhotep to their god Asclepius. You see, with the staff, with the serpent coiled around the staff like the great Tahuti. Imhotep was deified in a trinity with Ptah and Sekhmet, becoming one of the first human figures to be made of Christ.
YouTube, let's get into it. The master craftsman, right? Witchcraft, Freemasonry craft. Okay, jesters in mythology, mischievous archetypes across culture. Okay, Ptah, or Best, was the original. In many indigenous cultures, there are various entities, both benevolent and malevolent, who are portrayed as modern-day clowns. Some, like Paul Stobbs, who wrote in Nephilim, look like clowns. You see, the original is Ptah, the pygmy dwarf, which lead into mirth, which leads into the jester. Ptah, the ancient Egypt creator god, patron of the craftsman, who appears in esoteric Masonic historical speculation, connection, operative stonemasonry to ancient mystery schools. Okay, the pyramid apron of the pharaohs and the Masonic tomb of Seti, the Kemetic mystery systems of the melanin mysticism. Okay, you pause and read that. Ptah in ancient Egypt and Seti's teaching. Ptah, mythological ancient Egyptian god of craftsman, architect. Okay, Kemetic mystery schools, the link, pause and read. Ptah masonry, creator and builder. Worshipped and members, Ptah, the master, architect, connection to the craft, stonemason, craftsman, symbols, and fraternal Freemasonry. Okay, pause and read. Ancient Egyptian deity. Basically the original builder. Okay, those are both Freemason websites. Okay, pause and read at any moment as you see the deviations. Cult of Ptah, cult of Phoenicia, cult of Daedalus, Knights Templar, Scottish Templars. Pause and read that, man. I ain't gonna talk your head off. Okay. Again, we see how did the ancient Egyptian god Best end up in the center of the Aztec calendar. Whenever you see that tongue sticking out, you're dealing with Best and Ptah. Okay. Now all this shit is connected. Okay. This is as clear as I can lay it out for you. Freemason jester connection. Best, the Egyptian demon. Okay, some say it's a demon, some say it's a god. Okay, the elf or the imp is usually depicted as a demon. The elf or the imp. IMPF, the imp. This is where pimp come from. But let's keep it going. We did a video on that. Mirth. Okay, mirth is like a depiction of the Buddha. Okay, the drunken Buddha. Cause the Billikens or the Masonic jesters that worship the Royal Order of Jesters. They like to party. They like to drink. Okay, they like to play and be merry, like the Buddha, the Chinese Buddha, and the Indian Buddha. You know, you always see him sitting on his butt with his feet out, naked. You know, this is the mischievous best. Okay, this also ties into more science. I knew a lot of Moors used to be so and so best bay, right? You see, it's the Fez and the Bez, right there, Bez, B-E-Z, right there with the F-E-Z. Okay. So this is why they call it this depiction of Bess is referred to as a demon because he was mischievous. Okay, and you see in the picture next to him, he got the hammer like a builder. Right, but this also, you could be building families through sexual intercourse. That's why the Billiken or the Murph used to be depicted like Pan with the phallus. Come on. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Like and subscribe. I'm out.